Hello everyone, this is Everyone6 here bringing you a special cast today. This one is going to be a 4-player free-for-all using the LABWars mod. So we're going to expect to see a lot of labs and a lot of ghetto gunships this game. Let's introduce the player first, and then I'll talk more about the mod in case you don't know about it. So down here on the bottom we have Orbius, who is going gray UEF. Up here on the right we have Gorky the Pickle, otherwise known as Nanotech, who is going green UEF. Up here at the top, we have Meng, who is going red Cybern. And down over here, we have Snacky Snack, who is going cyan Cybern. Now, if you also notice, each player already started with the game with 4 mexes, 4 PHNs, and 1 land factory. I'm not entirely sure if that's part of the mod or if that's just because of a pre-built option they have in the starting menu. But if you don't know about the mod, LABWars is a special mod that I'm not entirely sure if it changes any of the units at all. I did check some of them. I couldn't find any differences between the units in here, the stats here, and the stats on the database. But if you look here at the factory, you can only build an engineer, scout, a lab, and Tech 1 anti-air. And that applies to the Cyberns as well. The engineers can only build land factory or air factory, or the resources or a radar, and the commander can build even less. And this also applies to Cyberns as well. So aside from the commander, your only land-based offensive unit is the lab, and so you're going to be using the labs a lot in the game. So you're going to have huge hordes, labs going all over the map, and it's a silly time, but it's also a fun time. Here you have the Siren labs, the hunters coming out, escorted by a couple moles, just for some intel. You see, Meng is going to be sending a couple these forces down here in the middle. There is these 2 reclaim wrecks, the 2 Oblivions down here, but the players aren't going to be too worried about grabbing them this game. But they are going to be worried about grabbing these 3 mechs in the middle. As is the standard meta on Regor, you want to claim all the mechs that are on the same side that you started with. But this side and this side has a pretty big advantage in that because there's no water separating them. The labs, there are no amphibious units, so you can't cross the water until you build an air transport. Speaking of the air, let's see if any. Yeah, so Meng has built an air factory, so we can see what the air factories can build. They can build an engineer, a torp bomber, despite only being a T1, prowler, or interceptor, and a transport. So for the ghetto gunships. So no bombers and no scouts, just the torp bombers. I assume this is to kill ACUs that are in the water, and then ghetto gunships, and then interceptors. They can take them down. You can't tech up any factories. You can't tech up any mass extractors, and you can't build any power generators past T1. And the commander himself can only be upgraded with a gun or T2 to T3. All right, so it's a very limited moveset, options. There's not a lot you can build, so you just build a lot of what you can build. So as you can see here, here's Meng. He's building a lot of things and is kind of moving around the hook and trying to get to these extractors over here. He can already made in contact with Nanotech's troops. In the meantime, Snacky Snack is already going down here, is claiming his extractors down here with his commander plus a factory, and is kind of preventing Orbis from getting the same thing. But Orbis doesn't seem too intent on expanding very much. He's upgrading his commander. It looks like he's got a tech commander on his building more engineers from his air factory and his land factories, and just building up his forces in here, building his PHNs down here, but not really expanding that much. Meanwhile, all of the other players are expanding outwards. Nanotech has a pretty good border force right here. Snacky Snack has this force right here, and Meng is moving up towards the middle, where it's a bit of an error because he's sandwiching himself in between Gorky the Pickle and Snacky Snack, or Nanotech and Snacky Snack. You can see he has a couple labs that are going to be scouting or moving over here. You can actually move through this little corridor in between the rock and this little giant cliff right here. But either way, those labs are going to be killed by this force right here from Snacky Snack. Looks like so let's bump up the speed just a tad, because there's going to be some action here. Here you have both commanders. Here you have Meng and Gorky Pickle. They're going to be in contact with each other. They couldn't fight each other in the water, but they are going to be fighting each other now out here. Let's slow the speed back down. And you see both Meng's lab forces are going to be moving here, try to support his commander. Gorky, Nanotech's force is right over here, just standing by. We have Snacky Snack moving up here towards Meng's base. And Orbis is still not doing very much. He's still building up, but we're going to see now Nanotech and Meng have engaged each other. You have so the labs are engaging these labs. These ones are going to retreat, and they're the rest of the mech marines are just going to be attacking Meng's commander. He's got more forces coming in this way, but Snacky Snack just has this line right here, just lined up in front of Meng's base. Meanwhile, Meng is going to pounce further onto Nanotech and just get him to retreat. He's going to claim these two extractors and build some factories down here. But it looks like that Nanotech is going to be moving his forces back for another attack. The ACUs are going to be coming back here in the middle. Let's see if can they see each other. Doesn't look like they can. At least Nanotech can. But they just made contact now. The forces are looks like that they're trying to keep their labs away from the commanders. Just engaging with their commanders right now. Meanwhile, there's a slight little skirmish over here with Meng and Snack's forces. But Meng and Nanotech are going to be personally moving up. They're keeping their labs away, and I don't blame them because the commander is very good at killing labs. I'm not entirely sure what the veterancy in this mod is. Probably similar. Meanwhile, their forces are going to be they're going to be moving closer towards Meng's base, but the main forces are not going to be engaging right at this moment. But it looks like that Nanotech does have a little side force that's going to be moving out here. He has moved a couple of anti-airs up here first, but then he moved the labs in. He's going to kill the engineers. He's going to kill these labs. And it looks like he's going to be taking out that resource area. But now the main forces have engaged each other. The commanders are shooting at each other, and the labs are killing all the labs. All the bullets are flying everywhere. It's complete madness in this area. It looks like that Meng has 57 health on his commander, and Nanotech has 7,000 left on his commander. So Nanotech has a slight advantage. And the extra region on the cyber takes about 2.5 minutes to make up for the fact that the UAF commander has more health. But it looks like he's going to walk right in the middle of the labs. They're going to focus fire on him. And the Meng's commander is going to go up and going to take all of Nanotech's labs with him. And at the same time, Snack is going to move in on Meng's old base, which is going to blow up in a couple seconds. Just going to kill the engineers, and it's going to maintain his hold on all the mass and all the extractors that are in here. Nanotech is asking him to disconnect. Apparently he was causing some lag issues in the game. But they're not going to be worried about that anymore, and neither are we. It looks like that Nanotech's forces is moving a little bit closer towards Orbius's base, who is still building up his lab forces. He did put tech in his comm. I'm not sure what the increased tech can build at this point. It looks like that he has. So he put T2 on his commander, but it only increases. I guess it only increases the build power of the commander. It doesn't actually allow them to build any extra units. It looks like that Snack's forces are just going to line up here with Nanotech's, but most of Nanotech's forces were either destroyed in the engagement with Meng, or they got destroyed in the death nuke. So he's at a huge disadvantage. And if Snack did pull all these forces here and attack him, there's not much that Nanotech could do at this point. But however, regardless, Nanotech is going to go across the water and is going to. Looks like he's probably going to try to go to this area and claim the mass and claim the mexes right out from Snack's nose. And Snack does not have intel in this area, so he cannot see the commander going. He's got a little bit of radar intel, so he might see something if he moves a mole. But meanwhile, Nanotech is just going to move right out from under his nose. Oh, looks like he spotted him. Yeah, he spotted something. He doesn't know what it is, but he does know that something is there. But he can also see Nanotech's main force moving down here. Now he's seen both. Snarky's force more than dwarfs Nanotech's force, so it's going to be able to take care of that pretty easily. Meanwhile, and then Nanotech's commander is going to be left out here way in the open. Meanwhile, Snacky's commander is right here in the middle, safe and sound, building P-gens. It looks like that he's building up mexes and P-gens over here. It looks like he's got 2 air factors over here as well, building transport, so we could see some ghetto gunships in the near future. Meanwhile, Snacky is not going to be trying to engage commanders. Instead, going to try to go over here, line up in front of these forces. He can't see them, but he's lining up right in front of Nanotech's forces right here. And probably is going to try to engage in this area right here, take these resources away. Meanwhile, here's the first transport. It's going to be landing engineers down in this area to claim this extractor. Is probably going to be claiming more extractor on the map. While that's happening, it looks like he's going to be pushing forward here. The hunters and the mech marines are going to collide. The mech marines are going to retreat, doing a little bit of damage, but there's still a huge, overwhelming force for Snack right here. And it's going to do the exact same thing that Magmag did. He's going to move that Nanotech did to Magmag. He's going to move down and try to kill off these resources and factories down here. Nanotech is going to try to move his forces to counteract that, but he doesn't have nearly enough to deal with all this spam, all this lab spam. He does have a little force down here, which could do something. He could kill these P-gens or kill these engineers down here if he knows what's going on. But I don't think he does. He doesn't. He can see this transport moving off, but it just has engineers in it. Meanwhile, Orbius is still going to be just sitting back in his base, just building up his lab forces. He does have a transport out, so it is trying to move out and claim some extractors. Meanwhile, Snacky Snack is going to be moving closer to Nanotech's expansion. Is going to be killing all these mexes, and looks he's probably going to go after these. Be going after these factories as well. Orbius actually has a torp bomber out, and I'm not entirely sure why. Torp bombers can't actually do any damage against the land units. And there aren't any commanders in the water, so he doesn't need them if he was trying to snipe. Meanwhile, the labs are going to be taking out two mexes, one factory, and they're just going to ignore the others. He's going to go straight towards Nanotech's main base down here. A little remnant forces here trying to resist this, but it looks like that the main lab force is going to be moving down south. They kill off these P-gens, which are going to be a lot easier when they all chain react like that. He's going to be killing all these engineers, plus his power storage. He needs to be careful with that. He's just going to, yeah, like I said, took out about 10 labs just by destroying the power storage. It's still worth it, but he probably could have prevented that lab loss if he had paid a little bit more attention to that. He's going to be killing off Nanotech's main expansion. He's going to have his secondary force move up and kill off Nanotech's expansion over here. Plus, he does have ghetto gunships out. These are labs inside the transport, so it is going to be able to do some extra DPS to all these factories up here. Meanwhile, Nanotech's commander is up here. He is building more factories, and he did build up these mass extractors up here. So he is going to be rebuilding his force up here, even though his main force is destroyed down here. Let's bump it up just a tad. This looks like this factory is finally going to go down. All these factories are down. Looks like that this skyhook is going to be moving up here. There are no engineers in here, so he's just going to drop off the labs, if he drops off anything at all. Looks like that the forces are going to be back consolidating, probably around this area. Let's hit the shift. Yep, they're going to be consolidating in this area. It's got a ghetto gunship over here, doing a little bit of damage against this force, but he does have, but Nanotech does have archers in here, so he is going to be able to fight back against them. The ghetto gunship's doing a little bit of damage, but they're not sticking around. Orbius is still staying around here, building up his lab force. And the ghetto gunships are going to be coming around and harassing the. It looks like they just killed 2 extractors. It looks like they're probably going to be killing others. He's got more ghetto gunships incoming, and he's got more. And he's got he's going to be targeting the lab force and Nanotech's Tom. If you didn't notice right there, I'm sure he'll probably do it again at some point, but Nanotech's gun was sticking straight up in the air. The commanders actually can attack land units in this mod. You'll see that later on. If the attacks with the ghetto gunships again, he'll probably be able to attack either the gunships and the interceptors again. Looks like his commander's down at 3,000 health. He's in the red. He's in the yellow. I'm surprised that Snacky is not pressing, but he's going to be moving back down here. Probably moving his force. Let's see where he's moving to. He's going to be moving down his force down here, join his commander. His commander is assaulting Orbius's base. And Orbius actually is building cyber factories. So he must have captured a cyber engineer at some point. It looks like that the ghetto gunships are going to be coming back down. It's going to be attacking the lab force that Orbius has built up, mech marines and hunters. Here's some where's the hunters? Don't see any hunters. Maybe he doesn't have any hunters, but he is going. But it looks like all the labs are going to be attacking Snack's commander, and but the ghetto gunships are just going to clean house. They're going to take out all the labs that were attacking the thing, and they're just going to move forward here. Looks like that these labs just got killed right here. The engineers are going down. Looks like that instead of building up a force here, he's just consolidating all this spam around the hook, coming back down here again. You can see the oh, he just changed it, so now he's consolidating forces over here. So he probably thinks he has enough to take out Orbius's base. The ghetto gunships are coming back in. And here's what I was talking about. Orbius's commander's gun is shooting straight up in the air, shooting straight up at these gunships. You can see if I move closer. See, he's shooting up at the transports. So that is an interesting thing. You can see it in the original Supreme Commander's opening cutscene that the ACU commander shot down an air unit, but it never happens in the base game. Well, it happens here. They actually put something. They actually put a feature that you could see in the cutscenes back into the mod. Now the commanders are just going to come up here and kiss, exchanging blows with each other. The rest of the labs are going to just kill off the mexes and the factories. The labs, even though there's a lot of them, they still take a long time to kill the factories. Meanwhile, but I'm not entirely sure what was happening there, but it is funny. But Orbius's commander is now in the red, and there's not much he can do now. The commander just went nuclear, and all the labs around it just went with it. So Snack's commander is still down here, and he's consolidating his forces down up here. He brought the ghetto gunships over here, but they don't have any. Oh, they do have something. I thought they were empty, but it turns out they're not. Well, that one is. Orbius is saying "ew." I'm not sure why. Maybe he can see everything else that's going on the map if they have observers turned on. There's a whole bunch of engineers. I'm not sure what they're doing. Look, they're probably just going to be attack moving and reclaiming all this. But either way, you got interceptors, you got ghetto gunships. They're going to be moving forward, moving against nanotech's built-up force right here. He's got archers, so he is going to be doing some damage to the ghetto gunships. Looks like one just went down. And they're moving out of range of the archers. This is going to be attacking the build power in the back. The build power and the probably the economy as well. The archers moving back here. Here's this skyhook that has really low health. Doesn't have anything on board though. Looks like that the ghetto gunships are going to come back, and the main lab force is coming in. Looks like that Snacky's going to be going all in on this. The commander is once again shooting straight up into the air and just took down a transport. I wonder if you can overcharge. Like, you can build energy storage, so you probably should be able to overcharge. And I imagine an overcharge taking out 4 transports in the air. That would just be hilarious. But the lab force is going to be moving in the back. It's going to be taking out these factories, and the ghetto gunships are all targeting the commander. So it doesn't look like that nanotech has much time left, unless he single-handedly takes out all of these transports. It looks like he's going to do that. That's hilarious. He just took out 3 transports that were attacking him at once. So he's going to buy himself a little bit of time. But honestly, it doesn't matter that much. He's pretty screwed. He has this force down here and this force up here against him. And it looks like he got 500, 300, 200, 100, and boom. All right, so that was a fun little game. Yeah, it's a mod that not very many people play, so I thought it'd be interesting to show it. You know, not a lot of, it's not a deep mod. It restricts what you can build, but it does create a very very fun, very goofy games based off of what you can build. Because labs, no one uses labs. Labs are obsolete within the first 5 minutes of the game. But in this game, they're useful all the time. So that's really. It's interesting. It's a fun game type, and the commanders shooting up at the transport is also hilarious. I like that they can do that. I didn't know that was possible within the game. I thought they were just a dedicated anti-ground unit, but apparently if you mess with the code enough, you can turn them into anti-air units. All right, so that's it for me. Thank you for watching. I'm Everyone 6 signing out.